Now, are there any new policies or reforms in the pipeline to improve the efficiency of the scheme? I'm getting wind of some farms and other interventions. Educate us, please.
Right. When I arrived at the National Service of my introduction, when I sat down, I started work because it's a place that I know so well. So the things that we have done there, whereas it would have taken you 6 months to do, I have done them within a very short time because I knew where we had to make an impact. Thankfully, the MasterCard Foundation with Agri Impact had some money given to the National Service. The first year under the previous administration did not do much at this stage. So they provided a blueprint, a sort of a vision of where we had to take our projects. So we got to it very quickly. So in poultry, we've already built a 20,000 capacity in the last few weeks, and then we're bringing 20,000 beds. Our aim is to get to 100,000 at Papao in Accra, so that after every 5 weeks, we will be selling these beds to any of the KFC and all that. And the moment you hear that, that is the beginning of ending or seeing an end to chicken importation into the country. And this is led by young women at our Papao farm here. What is interesting is that the last few weeks and all that, young people have come forward asking us that, we also have our own pens where we can send, you can give us beds. And that is the motive of the Agri Impact and MasterCard Foundation job, so that National Service become an aggregator. So if you finish school and you were home and you were not doing anything, you could suddenly have 2,000 beds. That would earn you 150 Ghana cedis after 5 weeks times 2,000. And that is a meaningful life path that people must begin to choose. Our lands was in acres of land around the country, which we're doing nothing on. Already last week I was there. We've put 4,000 acres under maize farm in the major season. And I think the news reported it quite adequately. In the major season, we are doing this 4,000 in Komeu. We are doing about 600 in Ejura. We are doing 250 in Branham. We'll do about 1,000 in the Volta region. This is unprecedented. But this is also because I feel that we must broaden our scope and work with partners. So we did not have the tractors, we had the land and the personnel. So a partner came with the tractors and just started plowing and harrowing, so that we went to the Minister of Agri. He gave us the inputs and the fertilizers so that we could also get on there. I think today we'll pick them, and he gave us additional 2 tractors. In the Volta region, we did not have to go there with our own tractors. A partner is also bringing tractors. So these are PPP arrangements that we are getting into to people. And in the next year or two, the plan is that from all these acres and acres of land that we have, if you're a service person and you did agri, you could come and take 50 acres and also plant your maize. We'll give you the inputs, give you everything. When you harvest your maize, you pay back some of the cost, and then you also see if next year you can do 100 instead of 50 you start with. So we are creating several paths of entrepreneurial engagement for our young people, so that we can begin to move from, this chronic unemployment that is beginning to eat at our feet. We should be bold at it. We have to let people know that it will work. And that is my excitement, that people are beginning to buy into this idea and taking up the challenge so much. I want us to, within a short time, designate our Papao poultry farm as a poultry institute where people from everywhere in Accra, the schools and everything, will come and learn something about poultry, from which they can also have their own poultry farms around the country. Imagine that in the next 2-3 years, we stop chicken importation, and then this economy has $350 million reinvested in this country. And that is what we are talking about. Imagine if we do not have maize shortage until next year. It means kinky prices are going to be stabilized. Imagine that we don't have to bring tomatoes from Burkina Faso. And from our farms in Yape, 100-acre tomato farm in Yape, and then 100-acre farm in Komeu, we'll begin to save ourselves some money, and they are taxed on the CD every now and then. When the economy begins to grow, our youth will become confident and bolder, and they will do different things. But for now, where it starts is the hard work, and we must encourage them to do the hard work.
So it certainly sounds as though it's been a collaborative effort.
Yes.
You mentioned MasterCard. You also mentioned the Ministry of Agriculture.
Yes.
How keen has the Ministry of Agriculture been in working and collaborating?
Oh, the minister has been wonderful. Honorable Ekopoko has been wonderful. When I get there, I don't spend minutes. I just have to ask him what I want, and he says, you know what, you've got it. He sends me to their agric machinery site at Amrahi and said, Felix, if you need anything here, just check and let me know. I will give it to you. And I say this to him, all partners who are helping us, that I'm not going to let them down. They're going to be so proud of their involvement in national service at this stage. I mean, my policy is that if what we are spending will not bring us back the yields that we want, I will not spend. I'm a business person. I will not do that. My background is in construction. And then for me, you know what, of all these years that I've been in construction, you have to build a wall, finish a roofing and all that before you can raise a certificate for payment. You cannot earn money for appearance. It's not football. So that is the thing that I'm inculcating into our management, our team and everything, that if we invested a certain amount of money in a 100-acre tomato farm, we must pick every fruit from the floor.
No wastage.
No wastage. And that is what I'm planning. And we have so much service persons to do this work, and they're exciting. So I do not want us to make this as if it is a wonderful thing and all that. We just have to put our hands on the wheel and move.
Because I wanted to ask you, I mean, wonderful interventions come, wonderful interventions go. And we see how initiatives are started with a lot of zeal, energy, and enthusiasm. How do you plan to sustain this energy with which you have started these particular initiatives on? Because sometimes we see institutions lose steam, lose momentum once, things get going. How do you plan on sustaining that energy and bringing a lot of young people on board and also sustaining their interest and their energy?
Well, I think it is very personal for me as well. President Mahama appointed me and go to the office. I'm so sure that he will never have to worry about national service, at least during our term in office. For me, this is personal. I have built everywhere in this country, and as tough as construction is, I have never left a project unfinished.
You've never left a project unfinished?
No, and this is Felix Gyamfi speaking. I've never left a project unfinished. I've built in some of the toughest places. Anybody listening who knows me very well will say it. And it is the same level of integrity and grit that I'm bringing to national service. I mean, last night, beyond 10 p.m., I was Minister for Energy, trying to get lights into our site in Yape so that we do not have to use diesel to power the generators that bring water into the fields. There's a place we are engaging 400 women to work on 200-acre tomato farm. We have to bring lights also in our place in Sechira Farm Plains, where we have over 10,000 acres of land. It will be unthinkable for me to put all energy, put all these people to work, and the next year we don't farm, or the third year we don't farm. We will get bigger, not smaller.
And this is a conversation that you say in a year's time, maybe a year from today, when we pick it back up, we're going to see that sustained effort, that sustained energy, and of course, results.
Of course, I'm a very practical person. I mean, and that is the thing. I do not care who I work with or anything. As long as you get me the results, I'm going to work with you. I mean, I went all the way up north and came down within a quick time, had meeting with chiefs so that they could release back some of our land because of litigation issues, all within a week. And then I have asked them to task me personally for it. I remember in our meetings in the past week, somebody said that Exim Bank was going to give national service money, but then at some point they were worried that if national service was going to pay back. And then somebody quipped and said, you know what, this is a businessman, he will pay back. And that is what I want people to believe. There's no way Exim Bank will give me money and then I would fail to pay back or will not be able to pay back. I rather will not spend if we cannot pay back the money. You know, we know now that by the time we finish our maize, and then if we don't put together maybe a warehouse of a capacity of about maybe 10,000 tons, we're going to have a lot of wage. This week, that is what is going to engage my attention. I have thought about everything. I've asked all the experts. If you can build a 10,000 warehouse in time, that's fine. But this morning, I have thought that, why don't we bring containers so that we house them in? Then I thought, what is the heat going to be like storing fresh maize in these containers? So I never stop. I keep asking and asking and asking. This is a fight to save our youth from despondency. People who wake up and there's hopelessness, joblessness.
Now we know increased drug use because of that hopelessness and joblessness.
It's just so sad. Whereas if they dared, we would have avoided these things. So I do not speak like, excuse me, somebody. I'm not in a power to be. I'm in a power to do, and that's what I want this position to be about. That by the time that we finish, I would be so proud that we did this here, we did that there, we did this here. And the partners I'm working with have very good confidence in me. You call me at 2 a.m. and I'll pick and tell you what we have to do tomorrow or what we are working on. And that is what drives me mostly.
Well, time.